Crusaders, welcome back beyond the shore. I'm so excited to have you here. My name is Kels Johnson, and I am the host of this incredible River original. And it's a place where conversation happens for leaders, dreamers, innovators, and world changers. Listen, if this is your first time here with us, I want to say welcome to the Crusader family. Listen, over here, we love great content. And so if you love great content, you're in the right place. I am excited because this is episode 2. And episode 1 with Sam Collier was a phenomenal hit. We had an influx of people subscribing and people engaging with the content and really just making an impact with the video. And episode 2, we are not going to see anything less. If it's your first time here, I need you to do me a favor. Number 1, I need you to go ahead and hit the like button on this video. Why? Because it tells YouTube that you are enjoying this video and they need to open it and expose it to more people. We saw that happen with episode number 1. Number 2, if you're getting any value out of this content, out of this conversation, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you never miss anything that we're putting out here beyond the shore or on the River Network as a whole. Number 3, if you're really like, I'm all in and I want to be an ambassador for this thing, I need you to go ahead and hit the share button and send this to somebody in your sphere of influence. And let's get this video out to as many people as possible. Like I said, this is episode number 2 of season 2, and I'm incredibly excited about our guest today. This conversation is by far one of my favorite conversations. I think all of them are my favorite conversations, but this one I'm really excited about because the individual that I'm talking to today is one of the most sought after designers, graphic designers and photography. This guy's artwork is chef's kiss. I like to describe him as the new Black Renaissance. His artwork is simply moving. He's worked with so many phenomenal companies, Adobe being one of them, and I'm an avid Adobe user, and just seeing what he's been able to do from design and merch and just making art in general is nothing short of amazing. So, would you guys help me welcome beyond the shore, Temi Coker?
Okay, man. So, Temi, what's going on, bro? So good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. Nothing much. Doing good. How about yourself?
Man, I am good in these Atlanta streets. we live in Atlanta now, so it's a different pace. It's very fast paced. Atlanta is extremely fast.
I bet.
We were talking right before I hit record on all of the cameras about this incredible jacket that you have on and how jealous I am of this jacket. And I need to get in touch with somebody that makes clothes immediately because this thing is crazy.
Yeah, it's been like almost 3 years, and finding the right person I can trust to bring the vision to life.
Yeah,
this was like my last effort. I was almost about to give up.
Give up on
I'm glad.
Making clothes?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I've been in this stage of I want to expand my canvas, and I've been looking at doing that for the past 3 years. I've been hired by other brands to put my work on their stuff.
Yeah.
On their, like I did with Peloton, their workout stuff. Made a hoodie, made a tote bag. Did with Old Navy a t-shirt. And I just want to expand to not just do posters, but like I can make merch too. And so that's kind of the mindset behind this.
Wow.
Because I want people to feel the way they feel when they look at my art. I want them to feel that when they wear what I made. Because I mean, you can have low confidence, but you walk in with this jacket and everyone's like, yo, where'd you get this from?
100%.
So that's the feeling I want people to have. So
it is, you are wearing art. And your
Thanks.
ability to produce is unmatched.
I appreciate it.
And there are very few people that I look at and they make me feel insecure about my creativity.
Oh my gosh. Man,
but
chill. I mean,
but you, I'd be like, brother, this, and you be dropping some heat, bro, like
no,
seriously.
thank
And
you.
I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. I felt that if we were going to do season 2 right, it would only be befitting to have such a genius as yourself joining us for this
Thank
conversation.
you.
Um,
Thank you, man. I
so
appreciate it.
let's dive right in. Who is Temi? Like,
Yeah.
away from the art, away from all of that. Well, actually, let me not say that, because sometimes you can't separate. Sometimes it's just who you are. So who is Temi?
Yeah. I am an introvert at first.
Okay.
First and foremost, yeah, people don't think that when they look at my work because it's so colorful and stuff. But peace to me is like in the bedroom with the lights turned off and I'm watching Netflix or I'm making a poster. That
Wow.
that was literally me last night. Lights off, designing just for fun, listen to music.
I love it.
Um, but I am someone that likes to express themselves through art.
Hmm.
And so whether that be through music, most people don't know, but I've been playing keys since I was 9. I'm 30 now.
Come
So I still
on.
play at my church. Um, if you want to think about the type of style of playing that I do that inspires me, think of like Robert Glasper,
Oh,
John
yes,
Coltrane.
sir.
I want to get as good as Thelonious Monk, but that guy's on another level. But
Right.
I really love the whole fusion with jazz and R&B.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pharoah Sanders is another person I listen to a lot. Um, but yeah, and I think that music allowed me to express things in a creative way where I didn't have the words to.
Mm.
And also, I hate writing, which is interesting because now I start a newsletter. But it's cool. It's another way to just it's another creative outlet, I would say. Because yeah, one of the questions I always hate people asking me is like, "Oh, explain this art piece." I'm like, "You explain it. What do you see?" How does it make you feel?
That's
I
good.
don't always have the words because I feel like the art is that expression.
Yeah.
And sometimes I make some work and I don't really have a meaning until like after it's done. And I'm like, oh, I could see how this stage in my life influences this art piece.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the mindset that I have been in lately. But yeah, that's me. I'm married. My wife is a photographer and a set designer as well. So
Wow.
she's like the queen of aesthetics. She knows how to make the house. I mean, if you come to our house, it looks amazing. Every house we've been into, she's decked it out.
Goodness.
And she's an amazing photographer as well. But yeah, that's kind of it about me. I mean, my free time, I like to watch shows or play games or honestly sleep.
Okay. Okay. What's
um,
your what's your favorite show and your favorite game?
oh man, favorite show. I don't. I don't know if I have a. Okay, right now my favorite show, which it just finished, was Hijack on Apple Plus.
Is it good? I
Yo,
started it. Is it?
bro, it's amazing. I would
Let's
10
go.
out of 10.
Is there okay?
10 out
Is
of
there a
10.
good twist? I love a good twist.
Yes, there
Okay.
is.
Okay.
It's a good twist.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like crazy enough to like alter things.
Hmm.
Actually, no. Yeah, it was crazy enough to alter things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I need to
Episode
know.
episode episode 6. Gonna have you
Oh
on the edge
my
of your seat.
God. I can't
That's
wait.
all I gotta say.
I can't wait.
Um, yeah, and then my favorite game, it depends. So I don't think a lot of people know this. This is embarrassing. I don't know if it's embarrassing, but there was a game I used to play, RuneScape, back in when I was in high school.
Okay. RuneScape.
Yeah, RUNE scape.
Okay. RuneScape. Got it.
Yeah, your listeners might know. Yeah, I play from time to time. It's like my guilty pleasure. I don't know what it is about it. It's like medieval times type of vibes. It's like what is the game? War, World of Warcraft. It's
Yes.
kind of like that.
Okay.
Kind of has that vibe. Um, but yeah, but I kind of want to get into like. I mean, I also have a Switch, so I play Super Mario, Smash Bros, Mario
Yeah.
Kart.
The
There's apparently
classics.
a Switch Sports now. I kind of want to get into that.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, but I kind of want to get like the big boy games,
Yeah.
the Xbox, PS5 type
That
games.
makes
So
sense.
we'll see.
That
We'll
makes
see.
sense. Okay. So I have so many questions.
Let's go.
You first of all, I you said a statement. You said, "What do you think? What does the art say to you?"
Yeah.
And I feel like that's coming from a place of you express for people to gather their own perspective about
Right.
your artwork. Um,
Right.
and so for me, when I look at your art, I feel like I'm looking at the new Black Renaissance art.
There we go. Yeah.
That's like
That's like
when I look at it, I'm like, no, this is the new Black Renaissance. Like there is this
appreciate it.
tapping into what was and creating it for what is, but it also looks like what's coming. It's very futuristic. It's like
Yeah.
it is literally the full journey in one picture or one design at a time. It's like past, present, and future in just one design. I'm like, this is crazy.
No, I
Like,
appreciate it.
so
Yeah.
what inspired you to have this approach to art? Because you are, if I'm not mistaken, you're like the pioneer of the poster design challenge. Like nobody was doing that before you.
I mean, I feel like I don't remember the person's name, but there was someone that had been doing it for like 3 years. But
Okay.
I started it because my friend, Magdiel Lopez, he also started it, and it was his way to make what he wanted to make outside of work. And
Mm,
so I saw him making that, and I was like, yo, I kind of want to get into that because I want to mix photography and design together. People
makes
told me
sense.
I couldn't do both. They told me I had to pick. So I want to say like I'm the pioneer of making posters, but I think in a sense I was able to fuse photography and graphic design in an interesting way that tells the story of blackness and showing us in a light that is joyful, strong,
Hmm.
powerful. Um, and I think it wasn't until like 2021 that I felt like this motto, "Black is a beautiful canvas," has been like the foundation of the work that I make, which also points back to the Imago Dei of like we're created in God's image, and the whole point of why I'm doing what I'm doing with people that look like me is to remind them that they are beautiful and they look amazing, and your skin is not a mistake. My sister
Mm.
always, she has a poem I wanted to say one day, but one of the lines goes like, "Don't try to erase me, God drew my skin in permanent ink." you know I want to do an exhibition
What a
with just
line.
right. So it's been a way to like really do that. And as a black artist, sometimes you have to pick this lane. Do I want to tap into my blackness unapologetically, or do I want to be able to assimilate into the white culture and all of this stuff? And so I had to make a choice, because of course leaning into blackness does not always yield profit with all of
Yeah.
these big companies.
Yeah.
um, but I think that if that's your story, like don't sell it out. You know what I'm saying? And be unapologetically black, because at the end of the day, you have to be yourself. And when these companies come to you, they're coming to you for exactly what you are. You know,
Mm,
like you're not gonna see a company come to me and be like, "Oh, Tammy, we want you to make this campaign for this white neighborhood." What? You know?
that's a fact.
Am I gonna say no? Maybe. I think if I get to know the company and what it's about, and if the ethos of what they stand for lines with the message that I'm trying to put out there. Like, is this a white neighborhood that's kicking out black people? You know, or is this a neighborhood that's trying to um, create a black hub for people of color to be able to um, have a voice? You
Yeah,
know, then it's like, okay, I can come in as long as you guys are going to listen to the things that I have to say about the black community and
yeah,
not try to infiltrate your thoughts into it, then I might consider it.
yeah,
But again, this all comes from knowing the story that I'm trying to tell and the narrative and the audience that I'm trying to reach.
oh boy.
I know that was a lot, but I
Brother,
hope that made sense.
that was absolutely incredible. And your art is so significant for that reason alone, because of the
Hmm.
story that you're telling, because of the imagery that you're putting out, because of what you are putting on display is rewriting the narrative. And what I find, Lord, you started tapping in, because
Hmm.
being able to be yourself unapologetically and authentically is such a delicate dance for Black
Yeah.
people. It's a
Yeah.
very delicate dance. You have to go in playing the game. Like, there is a game to be played, and there are
Yep.
rules to know. And what I love about you is you've been able to be yourself and get people to respect
Yeah.
Black culture.
Yeah.
Like I say, that's a different level of conversation. When you get people
Hmm.
to respect Black culture, it says something. For me, I feel like Black people don't need a handout, but we do need
Hmm.
access.
Yeah.
If we don't have access, then we can't produce at the highest levels of quality that we need to produce at. And,
Yep.
we've got this whole conversation going right now in the culture about reparations
Right.
and and what's the terminology that I'm thinking of? Um, Affirmative action. Jeez.
Hmm.
Got this conversation about affirmative action happening. And, it's a very interesting conversation, you know?
Yeah.
But what I love about, and I'm tying the two in,
Hmm.
is on one side, people are arguing you should just be able to get in on the merit of what you've produced. But
Right.
if there are barriers to entry, those barriers to entry need to be taken down. Like you
Right.
cannot say get in on your merit, but I'm going to also put up a barrier so that your merit doesn't match up to said, you know, entry point.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
on the other side, where I could understand some of the language and the lingo, is if we aren't prepared to go to those spaces, a handout actually does worse for us than getting in the space. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're
Hmm.
not ready to go compete, if you're not ready to be at the top of your game, then you'll just go and fizzle out. Tying it in,
Yeah.
because I think we've got to stop telling people like you that you can't do certain things. Because you made the statement that people told you, oh, you can't mix graphic design and photography. And it's like,
Hmm.
why?
Hmm.
Like,
Right.
let me experience and express this, because what I'm going to bring to the table is going to
Yeah.
open up doors. And once
Yeah.
doors start being open, then we don't need affirmative action, because we're running
We
the
have
culture. We're
access.
leading
Yeah.
in creativity. And you've been able to get into spaces I never thought I'd see Black people in. Like,
Shoot.
and there's very few.
Yeah.
It's you in graphic design and art. It's Marquez Brownlee in technology. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's very few, but y'all taken over the space so much. It is just,
I
I
appreciate
gotta
it,
give you your
man.
flowers, bro. I have
No,
to,
thank you.
because it's what you're doing is, people are going to look back in history and see your work and realize that your hand started to push forward the culture. Question: how are you handling that?
I think I've realized that it's a gift,
Mm,
and what you do with your gift is to serve others.
yeah.
Um, and I think that understanding that it's a gift allows me to know that I am I am the vessel that God is using to create this type of stuff. And so I can't always take the glory or point to myself.
Yeah.
I think I think if people know me from when I started and how I got to where I am today, I think they would understand that Jesus is the hero of my story. And that's
Yes,
the
sir.
that's the point of why I have gotten where I am today. It's that this is what God wanted, and this is how He wanted to use me and the gifts He's given me to inspire. Because I think now I've been able to have access to rooms where I wouldn't have been able to have access to. I got flown to Barcelona last year to speak at a conference that I've always wanted to speak at, and
Jesus.
to be able to talk about like my faith and how that influences the work that I do, and how the idea of the Imago Dei is kind of why I create the type of work I create of Black people. I would not have had that access if it wasn't for the gift that God has given me. And
Wow.
so have to, I have to always like look back and point back to the giver, and it's been it's been humbling, it's been encouraging, to just see how the art that I've made has blessed people or made them feel better about being Black, about their skin color. And or a young, one of my friends sent me a video of her daughter picking out the T-shirt that I made with Old Navy, and it was all about like Blackness, and it was a Black guy and a Black girl on the front of the design, and um, the mom asked her like, "Why do you pick this shirt?" She's like, "Oh, they have hair just like me," or what I'm saying, just those little
Yes.
things. And she said and the little girl said it's her favorite shirt. So those things are like what gives me joy to know that
Oof.
I'm like, in a way, impacting the younger generation and allowing them to see themselves,
Wow.
and knowing that it is possible to have this as a career. That's kind of why I went back to my old high school to teach for 3 years after I graduated. Um,
Jesus.
but yeah, so I'm handling it the best way that I can. I think knowing that it's a gift has allowed me to remain humble and having this, um, always a student mindset. I never want to feel like I've arrived,
Mm-hmm.
and I always want to be a student till I die. And so I think that allows me to remain curious, to remain humble in a way that I think honors God and points all of these success and gifts back to Him.
Yo, let's take a pause for the calls really, really quick. This conversation is going incredibly, and I want to get you back in. But first, I want to pause and thank those who partnered with us to make season 2 possible. The reason this season is possible is because of the partnership of those who sowed financially into ensuring that we could get a space, that we could hire a photographer, that we could do a couple of things with advertising and marketing to ensure that season 2 was possible. And so from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you so much for your generosity. Listen, we are already in talks of getting season 3 off the ground. And what we need to ensure that season 3 goes off without a hitch is 200 people that would commit and say, I want to sow $20 into the production of season 3. And we'll be able to accomplish everything that we need. So the ways you can give will be right up on the screen and down in the description section below. I also want to shout out right now our season partner for this season, the VERA LOFTS. And we're going to talk more about them towards the end of the video, but I just wanted to give them a shout out. Thank you so much for allowing us into your beautiful space. Okay, enough of me talking. Let's jump back into this conversation.
Wow. Bro, that is... So my pastor says this. He says that with every gift, there is the dark side. Every gift has a dark side. How do you handle when your dark side shows up? Because I think a lot of people, because they don't know this principle, they fall prey to the moment. And my cousin always says it like this, and he got it from my grandfather. He says, don't let your gift take you where your character can't keep you. And your gift has opened up doors and gotten you in rooms. But that doesn't mean that there's not another side that's like, if I don't keep a grip on this, I could lose everything. And I'm not saying like it's some crazy negative thing, but it's like, man, if I don't get a grip on my insecurities or my anxieties or my doubts and my fears, because those are things that we deal with as creatives, because we view the world through art, and we're always comparing our art to something else or somebody else. And if we don't get a grip on that, man, we could destroy the whole thing. So how do you handle that side of your gift?
Yeah, I think such a good question, because I still struggle with insecurity or feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough, especially with like, I can't draw like a lot of illustrators do, but I found a way to work within my limitations.
Yes, sir.
And that's another
Yes,
that's
sir.
another thing in and of itself.
Yes, sir.
But I think the dark side for me has always been like, I'm almost feeling like Job, and I'm waiting for God to just take it away. You know, I'm scared because for me, I felt like the success almost came too quick.
Oh my God!
Which doesn't. I mean, it makes sense, but also doesn't, because I've been doing this since 2011. But 2020 was when like things picked up during the pandemic. I had the best year, literally, one of the best years ever. And I think 2021 was even better. We doubled what we made in 2020. And it was really interesting because I was like, okay, God, this is happening too quick. 2020, things were looking dire. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to find a job or whatever. Boom, project comes in, Apple calls, I get an agent, things start rolling. Every project I do brings in another client. And before I know it, we're able to put a down payment on the house from a PPP loan, which I applied to before things blew up. So when the money even came to our bank account, I didn't even know.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I found out like almost a month and a half later, and that was kind of what we used for a down payment to our house. But
Jesus.
and we didn't have to pay it back because we did it the right way. So we didn't even get a lot of money because
Right.
we did it the right way, unlike all these other people. But
The scammers.
yeah, the scammers. But yeah, it was just really interesting, and that's something that I still battle with. Like sometimes the months are slow, and I'm like, okay, well, I think this is it. And then
Wow.
a month and a half later or whatever, boom, a project comes in, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're back. Right now in the
Wow.
creative industry, we're in a recession.
Yes.
So a lot of the creative agencies and stuff, they're not dumping out a lot of money right now to marketing and campaign. So work has kind of slowed down a little bit this summer
Mm-hmm.
for me. And I remember talking to my agent like 2 weeks ago. I was like, okay, hey, uh, am I going to be working at Target or Walmart or a small
Wow.
agency, or, like, even though I have savings, I'm not trying to touch my savings. I
Of
want it to
course.
grow. But yeah, I got scared. And not to say that working at like Walmart or Target would be like a bad thing, but coming from freelancing to having a full 9 to 5,
Right.
I was like,
It's a different world.
okay, if I have to do it, I will. But I was like, is this it? Did I have a good run? I had a good 4 years, 3 4 year run. I've been freelancing since 2019. 2020 was my first best year, and then 2021 was even better. Um, and so yeah, I was like thinking, okay, I think this might be it type of mentality. And all that to say was this dark side has taught me that I'm not the provider God is. And
That's it.
countless times I wake up in the morning and I'm receiving emails about like different opportunities.
Yeah.
After the night before, I was like complaining to God, like, okay, God, is this it?
Yep.
When's the next gig coming?
Yep.
And that's one of the dark sides, just the insecurity of like, how long is this gonna last?
Mm.
My wife and I just bought a new business, and it's a photography studio, two studios in one space, and we're renting it out.
Wow.
And we had to sign a 4 year lease, and I'm like, okay,
That's a step
well,
of
I guess
faith.
yeah, I was like, I guess
Jesus.
we're gonna make this work for the next 4 years. Um, so yeah, and I am in a space of like, what is what's the what's the line between like this abundance
Mm-hmm.
mentality and trusting in God? What's the line between the whole manifesting and trusting in God, or being positive and trusting in God? So that's where I'm
Yo.
at right now. I'm like, God, I trust you. And my other friends is like, man, you have to have this abundance mentality. And then you think about Matthew 6:25 to 33, how God provides for the birds and
Jesus.
all of these things. And it's like, okay, because of that verse, should I have a abundance mentality, a positive mindset? So that's what I'm like teetering with. How much is too much?
How much is
You
too?
know?
That's so good. That is
Yeah.
so good. You just tapped into so much. Okay. I've got one more question before we wrap up.
Hmm.
So this podcast name is Beyond the Shore. Um,
Right.
and I don't know if you know this or not. You might know this, but my wife and I have launched our Christian content streaming platform. So,
Nice.
reminiscent
Congrats.
of TBN, Daystar, stuff
Hmm.
like that. But to go back to your earlier point, something that looks like us, that feels like us, that sounds like us, because we don't have anything representing the kingdom like us right now.
Yeah.
So I
Wow.
would dare to say I have ventured off into pioneering.
Hmm.
So my question to you, and this answer will help so many people, I believe, is how do you handle pioneering. 'Cause it's
Mm,
such a lonely space. It's like you've
hmm.
got ideas that people don't understand. You've got
Right.
dreams that people can't comprehend. And so pioneering is a very interesting uh, place to be in. So, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's what you've done. You've pioneered a art
I appreciate
direction
it.
and style. There is no,
Thank
like,
you.
I can see your art in a crowded room and know, no, that's Temi. He produced
Same.
that. Like that's we know who did that.
Appreciate it.
Or we know who you were inspired by.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I know where you
That
got that
part.
idea from.
Yeah.
So you've pioneered in this space. How do you handle being a pioneer? A black pioneer. Let's add that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like, the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so even this whole idea of pioneering, I think it really is just about your perspective and allowing the world to see that perspective.
Mm.
Because more than likely, a lot of the ideas that we're trying to do has been done before, but it hasn't been done by us. And
Yes, sir.
God's DNA in us is he's made us all different. And so I think that I always tell people like, uh what do I say? Yeah, I always tell people like your art matters. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, not even yourself. And I
Yeah.
think that is the key when it comes to like, pioneering or trusting the vision that God is giving you to be able to just continue in that space, in that lane, and not looking around to see what other people are doing. And it's hard, but um, I think it's important to understand that your uniqueness is what makes this thing
Yeah.
um, become what it is.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are scared to start stuff because they see other people doing it. But
Mm-hmm.
someone once said, originality is undetected plagiarism. And ever since
What?
then, I've been, bro, it's changed my mindset on things, because I think like it's like another way of saying there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
Literally, whatever you want to do has been done. If you see someone doing it and you think they're the first,
You're
they
not.
probably have an inspiration from someone else that you don't know about. And because you don't know about it, you think that they're the first people to do it. You know, you think about Apple,
Yes.
Microsoft, Google, they are pioneers, but if you look in between the lines, like they're just like following the culture as
Yes.
things are moving.
Yes.
Apple is, but what I like about Apple is like they wait to see how everyone receives it and they take their time.
Yes.
Everyone is trying to be first,
Ye-
right? So I think when it comes to like what you're talking about, pioneering and stuff like that, I personally I don't see, and maybe it's just me. People have said, "Oh, you started this style." I I didn't. I never invented shapes.
Of
I
course.
never invented
Of
color. I never
course.
invented portraits.
That's good.
I did not invent black people, but I
That's good.
found a way to mix all of these together to tell the story and the experience that I want people to experience when they look at the artwork, which again goes back to that DNA. And what I'm doing is, I mean, it's not original. There's collage artists that have been doing this for decades. There are
Right.
people that can draw that have been using shapes and colors and patterns.
Right.
But I found a way to use it in the way that I see fit.
Yeah.
And I think there's power in that. And I
Yeah.
think that allows you to kind of own this narrative, own this story, own this perspective that you want to share with the world.
Yeah.
And so I think with you and your app, like, yes, there are probably other black people making apps. They might not be doing it in the Christian space like you are, or maybe they are and you just don't know. I
Yep.
don't know.
Yep.
But I think nobody is Kels. You know what I'm saying? No one understands or has the same experience that you have. And I think your experiences and the vision that God gives you and your wife will be shown through that app and through the streaming service. And I think
Wow.
that in and of itself allows you guys to just be,
Yeah.
and that's like my word recently is like, just, I just want to be. Everyone is doing. I just want to be. And be who? Well, be the person that God has called me to be in the spaces that I'm in.
That's so
And
good.
being faithful with the gift and the opportunities that come with it. Um, so yeah, like, all of this is a good reminder for myself. I haven't said this out loud in a while, so I appreciate the question.
Yeah.
It allows me to really look deep inside, and of course, the dark side was really good because that's something I still struggle with. I was telling people yesterday on Threads, like, it's wild having two businesses, because on the 1st of August they took rent from both spaces,
Whew.
and then I had to pay mortgage for my house. You know what I'm saying?
Just
But
seeing all of
God
that go, it's like, ooh,
provide, yeah, seeing all that like go,
oof.
like, but God provided, and
Wow.
it came out automatically. I didn't have to really think about it, but I just sat down yesterday just thinking, like, how far God has brought us. Like, even this studio that we bought is a whole different story. It was God. There's no other way.
Mm.
Like, literally, it's underneath our office. And it's 5 minutes from the house.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, and the owners, their office is right next to ours
Yeah.
because they own the space that we office in
Yeah.
of. So it's just like, it was God, and I'm grateful for everything. And something someone always told me was like, God is in the details, good or bad.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Bro, that was incredible, man. Thank you so much for that
Man, thank
information.
you
Listen,
for having me.
here's only thing I know is this. I've got to get to Dallas and
Yes, sir.
we've got to shoot in the studio. I need
Yes, sir.
my
Come
wife and I,
through.
we need our portraits told through the story of Temi
Yes, sir.
because that's one of the things I want to hang in my house. I want to hang
For
some of
sure.
your artwork of us in my home because it just tells a story that not many people know how to do. And what you were saying is totally spot on. I mean, as you were talking about it, all I could think of is everybody has a hand, but not everybody has the same
Mm,
fingerprint. Hands aren't
right.
new,
That's
but
good.
every fingerprint
Mm-hmm.
is different. And
It's
once you put
different.
your specific fingerprint on something, it speaks to the identity of who you are. And so,
Yeah.
man, I'm so grateful to have had you on to have this conversation.
Thank
Bro,
you.
I'm so excited about everything that you've got going on. Anything that you want to plug in for us to know, any projects we need to be on the lookout for, anything we need to be just kind of paying attention with you and in the future and what's going on in your world.
Yeah, I just did a project with Lemaire, the skincare
Oh,
company.
dope.
Yeah, I posted it. I posted the reel yesterday, so you can check it on my feed. But
Oh, done.
I did the packaging for one of their bottles. It's already sold
I
out in the
did see
Lemaire
that. That
store.
joint was fire.
Thank you. It's
Oh,
expensive. Lemaire's an expensive luxury brand,
yeah,
so yeah. But I think it's worth it. My wife uses their product. We have a few of their stuff. And of course, I got like three of those package of the packaging. So I'm gonna leave one in the office. My wife has one, and we're probably gonna gift one to my agent or somebody. I don't
oh, that'd be dope.
know. But yeah, the most recent thing is this jacket. I'm dropping it.
Oh, that thing is
Hopefully
fire.
by September, I want to do a pre-sale. I want to do a pre-sale this month, August, or early September. So right now we're figuring out the marketing, shooting content. I'm only doing 100 of these,
Hmm.
and once they're gone, they're gone. I'm not making them again. Um, And
two of them to
yeah,
the
and
side.
I'm really in this space of doing Temi Coker collectibles.
Yeah.
So I have some holiday items that I'm working on to hopefully come out by November that people can buy to gift to people for Christmas or whatever. So probably a basketball, a scarf, and
Oh
wrapping
my
paper.
God. Bro, you're
So
about to
be on the
tap
lookout for
into
that.
the your Ronnie Figi kid era. Because that's
Yeah, I want to. I
Jesus.
want to expand the canvas. I want to expand the canvas, and it's something I've always wanted to do. I don't want to sit down and wait for the brands to reach out. I want them to see what I can do, and then once they reach out, now it can really be a like true collaboration.
Well, I'm praying a couple of things. Number one, you put 2 of those jackets aside. So I can
I'll let you know for sure.
so I could be on the pre-sale list. I'm buying them. Okay, I'm
No, I
buying them. I
appreciate it.
need them in my life.
I
Number
appreciate
2,
it.
we got to work on this River Cooker Studio collaboration.
Yes,
I think we could do
for
something
sure.
crazy together and really tell the story.
Yes, sir.
Well, man, thank you so much. I'm so
Awesome,
excited
man.
for you and your beautiful family, and I'm praying for you guys. And
Thank you.
yeah, great episode.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My regards to your family and your wife as well. And I hope you guys keep doing what you're doing, especially with the streaming. I think that's amazing. I'm going to definitely have to check that out.
Yes, sir. All right, man.
Yes, sir. All right, bro.
Man, what an incredible conversation with my friend. Listen, I hope you go and patronize anything that he does. I mean, the jacket was just beautiful, chef's kiss. I'm serious. We at River gotta get on our merch game, and maybe you can help sew into us being able to produce some merch. Matter of fact, let's do a poll really quick. What kind of merch would you want to see first? An exclusive jacket, a hoodie, or a t-shirt? Drop it down in the comments section right now. If we produced some merch, what would you want to see first? A jacket, a hoodie, or t-shirt? Drop it down in the comments section below. Hey, listen, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, again, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed it and you got something out of it, consider hitting the subscribe button so you never miss anything that we drop here at the River Network. Number 3, if you're like, I'm all in with what you guys are doing and I want to make sure to spread the word, I need you to hit the share button and send it to everybody in your sphere of influence. I am excited about season 2. Thank you so much, Temi, for being on Beyond the Shore. I love you, my friend. To everybody that joined in, I love you guys as well. I'll see you right back here on the next Beyond the Shore episode. Peace.